Ladies, gentlemen, let's talk about the Sofirn IF24. I got one of these from Sofirn. They sent it to me to review it, and I had never used any iteration of the flashlight like this before, and I kind of didn't know exactly what to do with it because it's kind of a jack of all trades, but more on that in a second. When you first get it, it comes with a little piece of paper between the battery and the contact, so that you're gonna have to pull that out when you get the flashlight if you do decide to purchase one. And it comes with all sorts of goodies, including there's the piece you've got to remove. In here there's a manual and charging cable. You've got a lanyard, you've got spare O-rings, you know, all the goodies, and it comes with a little tag to remind you to take that little piece out of the light itself. But what you've got here is a jack of all trades light, and that sounds like it's an insult, but I don't mean it to be such. This light really is capable of doing all sorts of things, and so I really kind of want to discuss that one at a time. Now, before I even get there, there is a USB-C charging port here, and the light here, when it's being charged, is red. Once it's fully charged, turns green, so you know that you have a fully charged light or battery. The end cap is magnetic and it's pretty strong, so you can place it on a tool chest or your car hood or whatever to get light when you need it. But interestingly, what the cool thing is this mode selector switch that rotates here. And it runs through all of the different modes, as you can see, including lockout. And guys, I really like having a lockout feature. When it comes to lights that are going to end up in a pack or a pocket or anything, what I really want is the ability to lock this out so that it doesn't accidentally come on, because any light, especially when it's in one of the higher modes, it can get freaking hot, and you can see it even says right here, hey, this will get hot. So, you know, it shouldn't be a shock that you can get there. A lot of lights have a lockout where you have to do some combination of switching, like, hey, I'll push this button 4 times rapidly in succession, and, you know, no hate on those. But when it comes to, like, maybe I don't pick up this light for a week or two and I completely forgot what's the magic combination, what's the secret code, I don't have to worry about that. I just look and there's the little padlock and I know that's the one that I need. Now, when it comes to each of these individual pieces, parts, when it's in lockout, if you hold the switch down, you'll get moonlight. And that's like, I think, 1 lumen claimed. Then I believe it, man. It's super dim, and as soon as you let go, that turns off. So if you want I don't want to disturb anybody and I want the least amount of light just to find something, it is pretty much readily available without causing any issue. Now, if you rotate the switch over one, now you're in the regular spotlight mode, and if you hold the switch down, it'll cycle through low, medium, and high. And it keeps doing that one at a time. Now, from any of those, if you double tap, now you get turbo, and that is the highest. If you single click it, it'll turn it off, by the way. And if you want that moonlight mode again without going to the lock, if you just hold it down, it'll go into moonlight, and then you can turn it off. So there are 5 light modes, right? There's moonlight, low, medium, high, and turbo. Turbo claimed output is 2000 lumens. When I measured it, now take with a grain of salt my measuring apparatus, the most I could find out of this was 1500 lumens. And you might be disappointed and thinking, wow, it's not as much output as claimed. But let me just tell you, when I measured the candela claimed is somewhere around 150,000, and I measured it higher. It was, I think, somewhere around 160,000. So the actual intensity of the beam is stronger than claimed. The total output seems slightly less. But what that really means real world is that you're going to get a lot of distance, and I'll show you in the beam shots later. Like, this thing will punch quite a bit. So if you need an outdoor light, like a camping light, and I don't know that I want to say tactical, but this can definitely perform in an outdoor capacity for search or other related tasks. And it's got real punch, like it can get there. But what makes this light even more fascinating is we've got 2 other modes. One, if I come here, I've got red, and this can give me like a little bit of, I think, vision saving low light if I need it in a more broad capacity to see. But what's really cool about this is if you hold down the switch, it'll start switching colors. So if you want a different color band in this color LED spectrum, you can get it. Now, if you cycle through all these colors and you think, man, I really wish that I had red again. Oh, and I say, can I stop right there? Oh no, I have to go through it again. Or what's even easier than that, just go back to the lockout, take the battery out. So if you're like, man, I really want red, that was cool and all, but I just want red. Put the battery back in. Yes, so if you take the battery out, put it back in, you're going to get the red again. So it goes back to factory defaults. So if you want to experiment and you're like, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to not be able to just get back to the red, just pull the battery out, put it back in, you're back to red, good to go. Now you also have a white light version over here. And what's cool is you've got 3 different intensities of that. So if you just want white light but lower, good to go. If you want it a little bit warmer, or I should say a little bit brighter, and a little bit brighter still. So you've got options there as well. And then we're back to the lockout. So you've got a light that is good for searching, like if you got a big backyard or you're out camping or whatever, you definitely have some real punch if you need to see trail ahead, you're looking for something. And if you still want that level of punch, but you don't want it super bright, you can adjust that mode. So like I'm just walking my dogs, but I need to see what's going on. You have all sorts of options there. That said, let's just say you're not walking your dogs, but you're working in your shop or you're working under the hood of your car or on the side of the road, and you just want some broad area lighting so that you can see what you're doing. You can put this on your shirt clip right here or on your jacket or whatever, and you are going to be set when it comes to this. And you can obviously adjust the intensity, like, man, I'm needing to dig around under the car. Oh, I'm needing to dig around under the hood. Okay, I just need something on the side of the road. So you have a lot of options there. The light here will tell you when you need to charge it, by the way, when you first come on. Green is, I think, greater than 50%. It'll start going down to red and flashing red. So if you're wondering how much battery you have left, you've got the charging indicator there as well. I'll post the actual numbers and stuff like that. But in general, guys, the feature set is pretty neat and it can do a lot. So like I said, kind of jack of all trades. And one thing I really appreciated was the documentation. A lot of documentations have like a list of, you know, if you push the button, it does this, push the button, does this, push the button, does this. Sofirn in their documentation has like a whole tree, like a decision tree, a diagram, and that was super helpful to me. Like I really appreciated that. In general, I felt that that was a lot more sense-making to my little dumb brain than having to read a bunch of text and puzzle it out. In general, I don't find the user interface on this thing to be too confusing, especially with the rotary switch. Man, it is almost idiot-proof, and I'm not saying you're an idiot, I'm saying I'm an idiot. And so this is super helpful to me. Super simple, super straightforward. I didn't have to go read the directions 20 times to figure out how to run this light. Everything was super self-explanatory. Anyway, like I said, some beam shots next. I'll show you what this looks like in the basement and out in the yard. Okay guys, let's do some basement beam shots really quickly. From here to that near wall is about 4 yards and the far wall is about 10 yards. This is moonlight. And so it's 1 lumen claim, then I believe it. It is so dim. Perfect for if you want to save your night vision, you just want a little bit of light. Next up, we go to low and low. We can start to see it on the back wall. Medium, much brighter. This is probably where you'd want to be for, I think, most general purposes. High is pretty darn bright. And then if I double tap it, that's turbo. Claim 2000 lumens. Like I said, I'm seeing about 1500 in my test, but still plenty bright. So that's all the lighting modes for the main switch. And then if we move on, this is the white light, the big broad spectrum light, and it's got 3 different modes. There's the medium. Now you can see if you're just trying to light up a room, I think this is perfect for that. And then, let's see, high. This is super, super bright. Claimed 550 lumens for this. I don't have any really good way to measure this, but a lot of light output. So if you really need to like light up a room, especially if there's a power outage or something, I think that would be perfect. We've got strobe if you want to give yourself epilepsy. We've got signal, and I'm sorry, that was SOS. This is signal. And then I think we're just back to the regular light mode. And then once again, I'll take it down to medium, low. So that's all the ones for the white light. Now we've got the red, and I think that this same thing, we can go different colors if we want. And if I double tap it, I start to get, flashing, which we can sort of see. Then the police signal, so if you want red and white. And then there's, let's see, I think one of them is just, it goes through all the colors. It just keeps going different colors. Then we've got the kaleidoscope or whatever the heck they want to call it, rainbows. Then the raindrops. And then the kind of strobulicious going through the different color modes. And then I think back to the standard color. And if you hold it down, you can shift colors. I think eventually it'll go back to red if I leave it. A lot of lighting options with this. All right, guys, for beam shots, we're looking out the front door of my headquarters and the Sofirn IF24. First, I'm going to put it on in moonlight mode. And I don't even know if you can actually see it on the fence there. Like 1 lumen is super, super dim. Like I said, it's really good for indoor spaces where you don't want to put light all over the place. You're just looking for a little thing. So I like that. And then next up, we got the low. You can start to see it on the trees. You definitely see it on the fence. Tree's about 20 yards out. Then we got the next up. Now I'm actually starting to see some light. I think that's medium. That's high. High we can see. And then if I hold it again, I'm going to go back to low. Now here's turbo, the double click, much brighter. So I'm definitely seeing the tree line, a really good amount of throw. So that's the closer outdoor shots of the Sofirn IF24. All right, a little bit longer range on the Sofirn IF24. Same thing, moonlight again. You can see it on the near fence a little bit if you look. But this is the moonlight. And if we go up 1 to low, not really getting any distance, but I wouldn't expect it on the low. Then medium and high. Sorry, I skipped over that. There. And you can see that street sign out in the distance and a little bit of the stop sign. Those are, I want to say, about 180 yards. Pretty good distance. And then if I hit turbo, you can see I'm really getting some throw. So for a small light, for the amount of lumens, it's really got a good amount of throw or candela. So I like that quite a bit. And I'm seeing really, really well with this. A lot of different modes that can give me the light that I need no matter what my needs are. Okay, so my conclusion, the Sofirn IF24, super impressed with this light. And really, the question is not what do you do with it? The question is really what can't you do with it? This light can literally do everything. If you need to go search outdoors, you want to walk your dog, you have a power outage, you want to work in your shop, you want to work in your car, you need an emergency light for your car, you need something in your pack just in case, or your pocket, you want to use this to set lighting for video, or you want to set lighting for, let's say you're setting something up on the range and you want to give your trainees a much more interesting lighting perspective, because that's the thing. Any of those are doable with this light. Super, super impressed. Did I mention that? I got to thank Sofirn for sending me this light. I should also mention, guys, that I can't say what the price is going to be in the future, but currently the price is pretty darn good and there are some discounts available. If I have anything like that available, look in the description, and if there's discount codes or anything like that, I will do my best to make sure that you guys get the absolute best price on this light. Understand that any links that I put down there are going to be affiliate links, so I will get a very small commission if you do decide to use one of those links to purchase anything that I recommend. Guys, you don't have to, but it's always appreciated when you do. Things like that allow me to continue to test out things for you guys. Obviously, the basic lighting itself I found to be super cool. But in addition to that, I mean, forget that. Let's talk about the lighting that you can do with the bar and all of the different lighting modes that this thing has. Super amazing, super amazing. Come on, there we go. Yep, signal, the police lighting, all the different color shifts. Seriously, what a neat little light. Heck, I could see using this for Halloween. You know, the options are limitless. And I have spent more money than this costs doing some of the lighting for my little studio here, like some of the orange and the blue lights. Those, either one of those cost more than this. If this thing had been floating around or I knew about it when I was setting up some of the studio stuff, I legitimately just would have bought a couple of these and set them behind some of the props. Overall, what a nifty little light. And what's cool is, like I mentioned earlier, if you don't want this thing to go off, you just put the lockout and you are golden. And like I said, what can I say? Sofirn, thank you very much. Highly recommend this light. It's pretty darn nifty. Guys, I do a lot of gear reviews. Obviously, you have seen some of those. Things like guns, knives, flashlights, other assorted gear, occasional fitness discussions or content. If you like any or all of that and you want to see more of it, please do the YouTube thing, subscribe for more content, hit a like to tell me that you really appreciated this video. And guys, I got to tell you, I always appreciate you. Thank you for watching as always, and I will talk to you soon. Take care and stay safe.
Get 'em, Jay.